Penguin finally starting to get a bit deeper with the lore, especially with Vic, and a little bit more with about Sophie, what happened to Sofia and how Sofia got to Centre Arkham. Let's talk about it. It starts off with Victor going back to his family's house and just having a general conversation, and you seeing his family, his dad, his mum, his sister, and he wants to go out. He wants to go out, meet his girlfriend. That you sort of see like messages in the last episode, talking about a bit of gang. They want to go to see the fireworks on top of this house of her building, and I'm constantly thinking that he's going to get a message from Penguin, because I don't know. You don't know what happened to the parents, and then you go on top of the building, and they're just having a nice time, chatting. Apparently, some dude called Squid is a gang member. Him and his girlfriend are sort of like getting, like having a nice little moment, and then you start thinking, you see the fireworks. I still think he's gonna get a message, and then you see the bombs go off, and you realise it's actually I think it's the water, the dams getting blown up by the Riddler. So I'm guessing that happened during the movie, because I haven't seen the movie. And then you see the floods coming in, and you know which house, which flat, bungalow, which flat is his. And then you see the water cushion coming in, and it's at a T-junction, and the water just hits their like flat straight head on, and you're like, oh, okay, this is a flashback. Yeah, and then I'm sad. Moving forwards, the deal with Sofia and Oz is going forwards about how they're going to sort of take control of the drug trade, which is what she used to take in Arkham, to keep them docile, keep them controlled, so they forget where they are and what they're doing. It's a mushroom, but it's the sap off the mushroom, which is quite cool. You hear about like mushrooms being like psychoactive and stuff, and used in types of, you know about what I mean by mushrooms. Anyway, it's a good way of doing it. I like the idea. It's definitely different to the normal, just like shooting up type stuff. It's how Sofia, the fact that she's taken it before and that she used to use it in Arkham, was given to her by her guards, I assume, is good at how she uses it to try and how her and Oz try and sell it to the triads, because now they're trying to get a distributor, and they can use the triads. They go to a club, and they meet an underboss, so not the main guy, which Oz knows a contact, which is another underboss, and they're trying to bring them in to do a coup against the Falcones. It's just mind-boggling how how Oz's mind works. He's literally playing people off each other, and it's really good. So the meeting goes off basically without a hitch, and he's just like, okay, you go. Ooh, I'm getting ahead of myself. So Sofia comes to Oz's place because Oz and Sofia go to meet one of the triads at like the same level as Oz in the triads, but Vic stays behind because Sofia doesn't want him there. It's just him and Oz, because Oz used to be Sofia's driver, and now he's gone up in the world, but you'll find out about how he's gone up in the world later. So Vic is left alone in the flat, well, Oz's apartment, okay, that's what you Americans call them. So he invites his girl round, and they're discussing life. They haven't really seen each other, especially since the first episode when he tried to take the car, and that's where he's been staying. And they're talking how good his life is. And what is that girl's name? Oh, sorry, it's girlfriend. She's been living in a FEMA house, not hostel, like a catastrophe place, I guess, like tents and all that stuff. So she wants to leave for California, and so this is where basically Victor has to make a choice. She's getting on a bus, I think, the next night to go to California, and Victor's like, I'll come with you. And so this episode's really about him trying to make the final decision if he's really all in or not. Oh, it's a good. And so they kiss and she leaves because Oz is on the way back, and obviously Oz doesn't want anyone else in the house except him. So, drug deal goes down in the club where the Triads club, and the other underboss is waiting for. It has set up a meeting with Mr. Zhao, the leader of the Triads, because they didn't want to meet him because they needed someone bigger. They needed a higher up in the family. So if you remember, Penguin had pictures of Luca with Tina. So that's the wife of the main guy. Oh, what's his name? I got it better. So it's to be able to get them to the table. They had to because Johnny Viti is the main boss that they can get to. Is the pictures of who's been sleeping with Luca Falcone's wife. So they blackmail Luca Falcone's wife to set Johnny up in a sting, basically. So Johnny Luca's wife and Johnny Viti are in a hotel room, and they let themselves in and then basically blackmail him and force him to do what he says. Now, this is when Penguin really shows his colours, because Johnny, oh my god, I keep on forgetting the name. Yeah, Johnny is literally winding him up, making fun of him, and that's basically how Alberto was, because he doesn't like to be made fun of. And when you push him a bit too far, he will literally hurt you. He will do bad things. And he does that really badly, and so sticks some sort of like metal, I think it must be like a screwdriver in his mouth. I think he cracks a tooth and like starts like really going at him. Doesn't like him at all. But anyway, they get him to the table and to make the phone call, being like, yeah, we're backing him up. They leave him alive and makes him a deal. Said, if you do this, we can make it better for you. Anyway, we've got 2.5 minutes left. Anyway, going into the club, and Victor is the bagman, so he's running around giving out the funny stuff, and Oz's girlfriend, the hooker, her girls are like handing out the funny stuff, and Victor is like taking the money, giving out more, doing all that type of thing. It's going really well, but then PTSD hits in with Victor, because the noise and sound, the explosions all going off again. So he's like, oh damn, freaks out, panic attack. He's actually getting close to one of the hookers, but that didn't go very well. He panics, goes to the bathroom, and he's like taking a breath, taking a breather, and then he finally comes out and Penguin finds him, and he's like, oh god, it's going great. I've got less than a minute and a half. Let's go for this. But then Victor is like, I might go. I don't know. And he's having a flash of conscience. Just don't know what's going to happen. I'm not sure. I might leave. And Penguin puts him in his place and says, this is what you wanted. You wanted more than what your dad wanted. That you wanted actual better. And so you can go. You can go at any time you want, but you stayed because this is the life you wanted. And so he's like, no, get out, go on, leaves. He goes, takes Penguin's car and goes to the bus station. I'll let you know if he stays or not. And then later, Sofia and Penguin are outside discussing that the deal's gone well, and finds out that Penguin actually snitched on Sofia, and it was her dad that put him in Arkham. For some reason, into the crazy house. Her own dad did that. That's what, and it was just like an emotional thing between them. Found out that it was actually Oz that snitched on her, and that's what put her in prison. And now he's finally something bigger because he's got his own place. He's got his own place in the world because of what he did. And then the Maronis show up, and Victor shows up, saves them. He's all in now because he drives a car into a dude and they escape. Anyway, follow if you like this type of content. Less than 10 minutes. Oh yeah.